Hello and welcome back to Movies in Bed. I am JESH Nixon. If you're going to ask me, hey, did you cut your hair? I will gladly reply by saying, nope, my hair somehow caught on fire and went at the right moment.
Here's your sign.
So today, let's talk about Stephen Chow.
Everybody was.
In my opinion, Stephen Chow is to Hong Kong what Quentin Tarantino is to America. He started out as a temporary actor for a TV station, and now he is an international star, easily ranking up there with the likes of Jackie Chan and Chow Yun-fat. During the turning of the millennium, some of his films have even experienced success overseas. A prime example of his work would be Shaolin Soccer, back in 2001. It was highly praised at its time of release, and I had the pleasure to see it. But I'm still a bit mixed up about it. I might take a look at it another time. Then a not so prime example of his work is "Ooh, we do not dare utter that which shall not be named." Cutting to the chase away from the jugular vein of my sanity, today's review will be Kung Fu Hustle. After the success of Shaolin Soccer, Kung Fu Hustle was released to English-speaking audiences in 2005 and enjoyed the same sweet taste of victory as well. It's been labeled as a brilliant showcase to America of Stephen Chow's style, but is the film worth all the attention it's getting? May I remind people that he goes on to produce this intolerable waste of our planet's dwindling resources? Well, let's talk in a more Kung Fu! Let's see what the hustle is about. So, our story begins in a police station that is run by the Crocodile Gang, and the leader isn't happy since his wife was arrested by an officer for spitting? Well, I shouldn't be judging because we have some strange laws here as well. I mean, next door in Minnesota, it's illegal for women to dress like Santa Claus. I am not kidding. It says so right here. Yeah, I know. Portland Cara. The Crocodile Gang leaves, but they walk into an ambush, being double-crossed by the police to the Axe Gang. Oh, and by the way, tell me if you think this looks at all familiar to you. The Crocodile Gang is killed and, okay, when you're going to kill and you do a little dance like that, you know you were dropped on the head when you were an infant. At least they were kind enough to let the wife go. They really are nice gangsters. Psych! Through photographic exposition and a dance number that could rival the prison inmates dancing to Michael Jackson, the Axe Gang becomes the dominant force in the city. We then come to Pigsty Alley. At first, from seeing the pig sign, I thought that it was called Bacon Dumps instead.
Bacon strips and bacon strips and bacon strips.
We take a look at the colorful cast, and we have an Asian Jean-Claude Van Damme farm boy, a tailor that acts like a pansy, a baker likes working with sticks, then we have the landlord, who acts like a freeloading and his uptight wife, who is always going on about her tenant's rent and somehow reminds me of Mimi from the Drew Carey show, but that's just me. Well, enter Stephen Chow, known as Scene in the movie, and it's not the same Scene from Shaolin Soccer, though it is sort of hard to tell when they're both played by the same actor and they're both seen with a soccer ball. Now here's a new question for you. What first comes to your mind when you look at this? Just so they could be feared and respected, Scene and his friend claim to be from the Axe Gang, but things don't go as well as they planned. This moment actually gives us a very funny scene between Scene and the landlady. Through bad timing and a misunderstanding, the real Axe Gang shows up to put down Pigsty Alley, and you gotta love this scene. We already know they're the bad guys, but God, they just really wanted to show it. They were black, have tattoos of tools of murder, walk to epic Chinese music, and even God is showing his thespian side by adding storm clouds over only the Axe Gang. Why can't God be like that when I want him to do it the most?
Because I don't want to shine a light down on you every time you eat at Wendy's.
Hey, I really like the Baconators, and they use actual fresh beef patties. When the locals give the group some trouble, they call in the rest of the gang, and this leads to quite a pretty awesome fight sequence. We get to see that the Asian Jean-Claude Van Damme should have been what the real Jean-Claude Van Damme is. The pansy tailor can kick butt, and the baker likes to beat minions up with his sticks. Also, to give you an idea of what Stephen Chow was aiming for in this movie, let's say that Roger Ebert said the movie is like Jackie Chan and Buster Keaton meet Quentin Tarantino and Bugs Bunny. Yet there's a bit of a cartoon influence in this flick, and it's a highly noted feature of it. Most of the critics pandering to Kung Fu Hustle agree this works. But for me, I somewhat agree, yet I still find it a bit strange. I feel like I'm going on the borderline of being freaked out by Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Anyhow, the axe game loses and they attempt to kill Scene and his friend for posing as him. However, Scene demonstrates his lockpicking skills and is given a chance to join the game by killing someone. Scene talks to his friend, and believe me, you're never going to remember this guy's name because he's just there. And if there was any moment his name was mentioned, you either miss it or forget it right away. Back to what I was saying, Scene talks to his friend about how when he was a kid, he was scammed into buying a book about the Buddhist palm technique from a bum? Holy Bernie Madoff, what would a certain person I know say about that? Hey, I know that guy, I met him at the bum convention last month. Oh, hey there, Buster, so you know him? Of course I do, I told you I met him at the bum convention that was organized by the prestigious Chester A. Bum himself. You don't say. Oh, and Buster, as your landlord, do you have this month's rent for the box in my driveway? I was getting to that. May I pay for this month's rent by giving you this amazing book of useless information? It has a bunch of amazing facts and ahem. Oh, well, never mind. I'm gonna go spam a kid with this book and get money for this month's rent. Young Scene tried to learn the Buddhist palm technique and wanted to protect a girl from bullies, but it didn't go well for him as well. From then on, he believes that heroes never win, but the villains always do. And it's actually a typical viewpoint that anyone can understand when they go through hard times like that. It's all understandable, and it makes the important connection between the main character and us, the audience. The next day, Scene tries to kill the landlady, but it appears that Lady Luck is out on a permanent vacation for him.
Don't make a move!
The landlady spots him, and I got a trick question for you. What does this remind you of? Scene takes a moment to recover, have a bit of a hissy fit I think, and his wounds heal completely in quite a short amount of time. Meanwhile, the baker, tailor, and farm boy who helped protect Pigsty Alley earlier have been kicked out because they're now wanted by the Axe Gang. However, things heat up since the gang sends 2 killers to finish them off. For the sake of moving along and wanting to show you the main influence for these street performing assassins, let's call them Chow Blues and Main Blues. They killed the cat! Oh, you Chow and Main killed the farm boy and tailor, but were stopped by the landlord and landlady before finishing off the baker, in a supposed twist to reveal their former lives as kung fu masters. But it was sort of coming since we saw them do things no normal person couldn't do. Anyhow, the landlord reacts like rubber, literally, since he makes Chow and Main hit each other on accident, and the landlady takes shouting out loud to a whole new level. Chow and Main Blues are defeated, and the masters have an encounter with the Axe Gang's leader. Let's review this particular scene. They flee with their axes between their legs, and the neighborhood holds a funeral for the tailor and farm boy, but then the baker dies from his injuries as well. Once again, viewers,
with great power comes great responsibility.
Donut, you are badly.
Back to Scene, he robs a candy girl, but then discovers it was the same girl he tried to protect from the bullies years ago. Caught up in his own web of deceit, he sends his friend away to start a new life away from the world of crime. Then the Axe Gang summons Scene, offering him a job which is to break out the #1 kung fu killer out of an asylum. You should know the drill now. Scene manages to break the killer out, and he has to be one of the greatest kung fu characters I have ever seen. At first, when you think of who could be the greatest kung fu fighter ever, you might be thinking of someone you've seen in Mortal Kombat. This guy came completely out of left field and he is just a piece of work. He doesn't dress like a true kung fu master, but more or less like he came from the wrong side of Chinatown. The way his voice sounds sends shivers up my spine.
What do I charge?
And when he tells a gangster to hit him over and over and over again and he acts like it's nothing, you know that practically no force on earth could stop him. All he wants is to fight a fight worth living and dying for, but when he finds the right couple to challenge, there was no turning back for him. The landlord and landlady find themselves over their heads as their opponent proves to be too much for them. She's doing it right, being the trained vocalist that I am. The match ends in a stalemate, but they're wide open for an attack.
Oh, confusing.
Of course, since I know more than well enough to not poke a horny bear while lighting a storehouse of explosives before I swim off of Amity Beach and then firing a weapon that could dramatically affect the planet, Scene has what is coming to him.
Careful with that.
The couple escape with Scene and they help him heal while the killer kills off the leader of the Axe Gang. Dude, that is not funny. That is a sick and horrendous way to go. It's also revealed here that the reason for Scene's ability to recover so quickly is because
he is the one.
And now comes the most part of the movie. The improbable one versus many goons showdown. Ooh, that's going to smart be a bit hard to scrape out the surface. So Scene made it to the boss level, and it's a little bit difficult for him as well because the killer is a senile mutant kung fu toad. He's so awesome! The fight results in Scene being sent so high into the air that I was expecting Superman to fly by. He sees a highly coincidental cloud formation of Buddha, and the clouds are probably on loan from James and the Giant Peach. This in turn gives Scene his Nirvana. Can it be? Is he really going to do it? This is suicide, man! Whoa! So the fight ends with Scene as a victorious kung fu master, and he takes a killer Toadman as a student? No. He has been in an asylum for years because of his destructive fighting skills, and you are going to teach him the same technique that was used to defeat him? I am only letting this go since Mr. Toad appears to be taking on as a student out of humility. To cap off quite a climax, Scene and his friend opens up a candy store, and he gets together with a girl from his childhood. Also, the Asian bum is seen trying to sell manuals to another kid, but that's another story. And there you have it, Kung Fu Hustle. It really is just as amazing as the majority of the people who have seen it claim it is to be. When you look at a film like this, you should be astounded that the star/writer/director would go on to leave a terrible mark in geek history. However, Stephen Chow may be forgiven if he makes more movies that are like this, if he keeps these in mind. Great writing, fantastic fight sequences, and really good special effects. Now, I want to introduce a new segment in the show in which I will literally grade the movie in 4 different categories. Story, characters, overall look, and emotional response. Then I will combine the 4 grades to create an overall grade for the film, which I will call my bed grade. So first up is story. Aside from a few predictable moments and relying heavily on pop culture references, and I pointed only a little over half of the total references that there are in the movie, it is a bizarre plot. But it has a true humane side to it, including Scene's conflict with just about everything around him, even himself. For story, I give it a B. Next up is characters. Scene is definitely a true human because he tries his hardest, but all that he ends up getting is more trouble, which is normal for everyone, and his conflict with his own beliefs adds for a few good scenes. The residents of Pigsty Alley and the Axe Game appear as 2 separate whole sides instead of a group of people. The fighters have certain interesting personalities themselves, and I'll give credit to the tailor for being the only openly gay kung fu fighter that I actually know. Plus, I'm sure I don't have to go on about this guy. For characters, it's an A. On to overall look. The film's main feature is its cartoony look, and as much as the special effects look nice, I don't find it working that much for me because it's still the real world, and when you add cartoon effects to a real live person, it's just freaky in my opinion. But the fights were out of this world, so that helps out, and I give overall look a B. And last but not least, emotional response. I really felt it all over the place with Kung Fu Hustle. I felt happy, sad, sympathetic, curious, and most of all, excited. When a movie makes me feel that many emotions, that's got to be a good film. An A for emotional response too. So after much deliberation, the final bed grade for Kung Fu Hustle is an A-. Well, that takes care of everything for this review. Thanks for watching, Ed. Hey, I just got back from my book spam. Oh, how did that go? Well, he did take the book, but instead of giving me change, he instead kicked me in my free change dispenser. Ooh, so you have no money for this month's rent? Well, I'm sorry, Buster, but I'm gonna have to evict you. Wait a minute! I know the perfect solution for this! What if I were to provide you a movie for your next review? I'm too soft. Alright, what do you have? Well, let us see. Ice Age? Too easy. Fast and Furious? Film Brain did it. No way. Ooh! Dragon Ball Evolution! No! Get that out of here! Okay. Jeez. Wait a minute. What? I know the perfect movie for your next review. You do? What is it? Do you want to know? Well, you got me curious. Do you really want to know, Mr. Knights? Just tell me, what is it? You do know that once you do this, there is no turning back. What do you mean by that? This movie was produced by an infamous movie studio that goes by the name of The Asylum. The Asylum? Oh no! Don't tell me! That is correct! Please! Anything else but that! I want to keep my IQ points! I want to live! Anything! Just anything else but that! No!
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they fought with expert timing.
With great power comes great responsibility.